In this video, I'm going to show you how to select text. We're going to use this slide here as an example. And I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in on this text so you can see it better on the video. Now, there's a lot of different ways to help you in selecting text. If you want to just select one word, then you would take your I-beam. Okay, so if you're out here and you have a mouse pointer when you're in PowerPoint, you just move into the text and it should turn into an I-beam. Okay, so take your I-beam, place it on the word that you want to select, and double click. That just means click your left mouse button twice, real fast. Notice how it selects the text. Okay, so if we want to select the word Wilbur, we would just place our I-beam on it and double click. Whoops, double click, and it's selected. Notice when you have one thing selected and then you make a second selection, the first thing selected is now no longer selected, and now you have a new word selected. Okay, so point to the word, double click, and the word is selected. Now if you want to select more than one word or more than one character, you would point to the word, the first word that you want to start selecting. You don't have to necessarily start at the beginning of the word, but you can. Point to the word and click and hold your mouse button down and start dragging across. And as you do that, it will kind of back up and select that entire word because it's assuming you're selecting one word at a time. And you'll see as you're dragging across, it kind of pops in there and selects that word for you. Okay? So if you only wanted a few characters selected, you would start at the character and drag just across the characters you want selected. Okay? So sometimes this takes a little bit of practice, but you can get it. Another thing you can do is you can start at the beginning, click and hold your mouse button down, beginning of your selection, and drag straight down. And notice how it selects all the text or characters and words from where you started to where you're ending. To end the selection, you release your mouse, of course. So when you go to start a new selection, then that first, the previous characters that you had selected will be deselected. Now what if you want to select random words, like you want Wilbur selected and you want Charlotte selected down here, and maybe you want Christmas selected, those three words. Well, you could select each one, you know, separately and do what you need to do, or you can select the word before you start your second selection. To keep that first selection selected, then you would hold down your control button on your keyboard. You hold down your control button, do your next selection. Now if I want a third thing selected, I would hold down my control button before I start selecting it, hold down my control button, and then double click on the word. And notice now I have three separate words selected. Now, you know, later we'll learn, like if I boldface, then all three of those words will be boldfaces with one click of the bold button. Okay. Now, if I go to start select another word and I forget to hold down that control button, they will be deselected, and then, you know, we'll be starting all over here. Okay. So if you want your previous selections, and that works with dragging the mouse too. If I drag the mouse through this phrase, and now I want another phrase selected and leaving that one selected, I would hold down my control button before I start dragging for the next selection. Okay, hold down your control button before you start dragging the next selection. There are other ways to select, but that's what we're going to cover right now.